When food and water are scarce and violence is a constant threat, the future looks bleak. But in the arid lands of northern Kenya, a new approach to building secure lives is starting to bear fruit. Like his parents and grandparents before him, Maraka Lomaria Kipi rises with the sun each day and looks to satisfy the morning hunger of his goats. At the same time, his wife heads out of camp too, on a mission to quench her family's thirst. But while daily routines may not have changed much through the years, what they get back for their efforts has. Pastoralists like Maraka and his family here in Turkana County, Kenya, work harder now, struggling to locate food and water for their animals and themselves.
Olong ngebaren, atumito, ayo katari ngebaren dan, ya katari mkop, aliwur tu orang dua lu. Nah uriata, ngapai berele punya ala baren. Ya cuma kini tanya mai kare, ya cuma kai, liam kare. Tanya mang baren yang udara, ngakoyo apa dah beli, koyo apa dah koterang, koyo tiap aku.
With an average annual rainfall of less than 300 millimeters, drought and unpredictable weather patterns make an already difficult nomadic lifestyle even more challenging. Pastoralists like Maraka always moved with the seasons, their own health depending on the health of their cattle. Lately, though, uncertainty caused by climate change is making these journeys more urgent, changing people's traditional migratory routes and splitting up families. While Maraka and the youngest of his 15 children remain with their goats, near the settlement of Lobai, his older boys and girls left days ago to find greener pasture for the rest of their livestock. These family members eventually set up camp here, about 9 hours away by foot, not only far from their parents, but also any schools or health services should someone get injured or fall sick. Life in such an unforgiving landscape is fragile, as Maraka knows firsthand.
Ayo karing karunyari, kurimuni, ya tiapuna. Kaya nakiboreni, kaya ngata-mata, kaya ngata-mata. Na kolong ngatonga, na koro, na ngado dukul, na kure, ne karuala munyaring kabaran. Na ngupi alu aramar teng kabaran, kaya ngata-mata, ngata-mata. Hindu bewala ridang, tangapata ni ngakuralu begini.
Pressure bears down on Maraka and the others in this small settlement, leaving little untouched. Poor nutrition impacts health. Health affects education, and education influences economic opportunity, some of the basic requirements for a safe and secure life, and the bedrock of everyone's security.
Human security just does not address one aspect of security. It looks at cross-cutting issues, threats to human life, which affect their livelihoods, their dignity, and their survival.
Good morning once again.
Fatma Saeed works for the International Organization for Migration, the coordinating agency in an innovative effort designed to tackle all of these issues in an integrated fashion.
The predominant problem in this area, I would say, is caused by climate change. The resources are so scanty such that they have to fight for it.
This competition for resources pits neighboring communities against one another, turning parts of Turkana into a dry and deadly battleground. Maraka understands these dangers as well as anyone. He no longer owns cattle. They were stolen in multiple raids by a nearby tribe. 6 years ago, he was shot trying to keep his camels from being taken. And a little more than a year ago, his oldest son died in a raid. He's not just a victim, though. He too used to participate in these raids. Thinking of his safety and his family's future, he says, he quit. So, as a member of the Reformed Warriors Project, a peacemaking program sponsored by the United Nations Trust Fund for Human Security, Maraka renounced his violent past and now tries to guide the community's youth on a more diplomatic path. But the abundance of guns in the area holds everything back. At this meeting, warnings are given about an impending raid. People are told to prepare to protect themselves. But with his children living out in the bush at the moment, fear continues to weigh him down. Because Turkana's pastoralists frequently travel great distances, the World Health Organization sponsors health education and outreach programs designed to detect disease quickly and keep it from spreading. And UNICEF supports mobile schools, simple tents where basic lessons are taught. The ultimate goal of these programs to reach difficult, at-risk populations and give people options for their future, something the whole country can benefit from.
Because we want out there one day to have more engineers, to have more doctors, to have more development workers, to see to it that as a county, we are actually in the modern world.
Turkana County Deputy Governor Peter Ikai Lokowel believes only careful and coordinated planning can prompt that transition. He's happy to partner with the Human Security Project because even as some pastoralists move further afield, others are settling down, increasing the populations of townships and putting additional pressures on government services.
We recognize the fact that as a county we cannot do everything and that also resources are meager. We realize that we need a multi-pronged approach, a multifaceted approach to the problems of Turkana, to issues of climate change. Unless we join hands with others, we cannot do it alone.
And so Lokowel welcomes international support to help make immunizations and prenatal care routine and available at local health centers, just a normal part of everyday life. But it's not just outsiders making things happen. Community involvement is critical to ensure progress to truly take hold, says Fatma Saeed. Take, for instance, a water well.
If you set up a borehole somewhere, it's going to break down at some point. So what we do, we form water users association committee or water management committees to be able to manage that borehole.
Maraka also wants greater control over his future. But at the moment, he's more focused on the safety of his children, out caring for livestock in a dangerous part of the country. He sets off to find them and eventually arrives at their camp. The girls greet their father, but his son has gone with the camels, looking for water and pasture. Reassurance will come only once he returns. Maraka's quest to ensure the safety and survival of his family is mirrored by many others in Turkana. Former pastoralist Helen Longoli Kameret Lokedi has found her own path to greater security. A widow, mother of 7 and grandmother of 1, Helen used to worry about how she would feed her family. Then she joined women's groups and received agricultural training from the government. In the end, she chose to replace regular long-distance migration with a daily 15-minute commute from her homestead to this nearby plot of land. For her, the change has worked out well. She now leads a small farming cooperative, cultivating the land with her partners.
As opposed to it being an emergency every time we have drought, we want the communities to be able to adapt, to have the coping mechanisms necessary to adapt to these climate changes.
Helen's cooperative sows seeds provided by the Food and Agriculture Organization, a human security program partner. Drought-resistant crops like sorghum, cereal grasses, fruits and mangoes, and they even grow enough to sell their surplus. Solar power drives the irrigation pumps here, and Helen harvests hope. Of course, irrigation schemes also depend on rainfall to raise the Turkwell River and the surrounding water table. So the National Drought Authority employs signal flags to indicate regional water levels to the local population and warn of looming shortages. Armed with this knowledge, Helen not only feeds her children, but she regularly feeds her neighbors' children as well.
Now, mini aksomare nakala, min nakop, mini akomo na itomo kuno ngotonga, mini ngeda bitaria lukala, ebuni akopo ibelo, epote tani ngede lutoka na yokolu, epote tortoki ngaren boyete boyerla jawan.
Helen's dreams are shared by many in Turkana, but remain a long way from reality for most, including Maraka Lumaria Kipi. Maraka's most immediate concern, the safety of his oldest son. Comfort comes only once the shadows become long, and this reformed warrior assists his son, armed for his protection, driving their camels back to camp.
Alotoma Turkana kani ko Kenya. Ani abu binyo lokita alotoma kani. Tachamu to yakizin.
Lending their voices to Maraka's call for peace, the Turkwell Theatre Association performs as part of the Human Security Programme's public awareness campaign. Their message is about getting children into school, ensuring food supplies through farming and peaceful negotiation. All this can help pastoralism survive the challenges of climate change and secure the future for everyone in Turkana in every aspect of their lives.